The facility was built in 2003, and we've grown and evolved. And I think that more people are taking advantage of it every year. There's more of a reliance on community services. We estimate between 175 to 200 people a day. I think people are staying in their homes longer, so we have a larger percentage of the population taking advantage of the services. We have to limit enrollment in some cases. People get discouraged and leave classes. We don't have the right space for the right activity. The noise level sometimes in classes that are next to one another complain. Say you're doing a yoga class, you can only have so many people because they have the mats and so forth. Our exercise classes are bulging at the seams. Is probably 40 to 45 people in a weight and strength training class, and it's not comfortable for people anymore. By 2030, the aging population is going to be between 36 to 38%, and that's out of 4 different data sources used by UMass Boston. Right now it's at about 28%. We did about 4 different questionnaires. We polled people 50 and over, and we did it online. We polled people in person. They were given written surveys, and we took it all together and said, what does it mean? What do people really want? And there were differences in male and female wants, 60-year-olds versus 90-year-olds. So we put that together, but that was where we came out with, they really want fitness, and that's grown. They really want culture and arts, that's grown. They really want socialization. So it's sort of, yes, it's the programs that design the center, and those numbers just backed it up. With the growth in the population, we're not just pulling this out of our hat. It all seems to have worked together really nicely. Another thing that we looked at is space allocation, and when we moved in, there was 3.9 square feet per elder. We're down to 1.65 square feet per elder. And by 2030, it'll be down to probably 1.3 if we don't get the addition. And that's what architects, the Department of Elder Affairs kind of uses as a benchmark to be able to properly serve the whole senior community. So it's just going to be, the experience is going to be better, the delivery of services is going to be better if we're able to realize this new space. We were originally thinking about a second floor, but that wasn't going to work because it was going to be too expensive and too disruptive, and we wouldn't have the flexibility of this much space. So it's going to be a 2-story configuration, and it's going to attach to the front entry of the senior center. 11,200 square feet more of space. We are going to lose 6 spaces, but we're adding 24 parking spaces in close proximity to the building. It's going to consist of a cafe and a library space that really encourages socialization, and people can get on-demand food choices, whereas here in our nutrition program that we have, they have to make reservations, they have to eat what is served and so forth. So this will offer sort of something new that people are gravitating towards, go and run. We have a lot of book donations, but our library is out of space, so having an extra library would really be great to accommodate the books. We're also going to be offering a media room that has sound and visual equipment that is senior-friendly. We're also going to offer a workout room with senior-friendly exercise equipment that we can't currently offer, we don't have the space for. Another popular activity is art. We can only offer 1 art class at a time because there's not too many rooms that have sinks in them. So we'll have an extra art room. We're going to add a game room, which we don't currently have. More men are coming to the senior center. It's grown in popularity for men. They want 2 pool tables to be able to have, competitions and so forth. Ping pong, game tables, that kind of thing. That's another space. We're going to also add a beauty and health space. We only have 1 small health room at this point, and that space will be able to accommodate a bigger activity and simultaneous activities for our residents. Our architect is very experienced. He's designed over 40 senior centers, so he has good information as far as what they're doing, like the square footage, for example. We did go to Walpole. We went to Duxbury. Duxbury expanded, very, very similar to what we did, and Walpole built a whole new senior center with all the new areas and so forth. So to sort of visualize and get a better idea of what was going on out in the field. We've been working with the town for about 5 years, and finally we got the blessing of the Board of Selectmen and the town administrator. And then at that point, we did the UMass study to sort of be current and coincide with everything. And so then they put us on with the other two projects, DPW and police, because they have a financial plan to fund it through a debt exclusion. The interest rates are low, and we're ready with all the information. We have our design, as do the other two projects. They're working on a preliminary design, so it just seemed to be the right time. The economy is good, and so that's why we thought it was beneficial. What's been happening is people are asking a lot of questions, okay? And one of the things is about out-of-towners. We found out that we have about 16% participation rate for out-of-town people. And it's very similar to what other towns have that have senior centers. So we don't charge them anymore, but we do not fund our classes through the regular operating budget. We fund our classes through fees for services, donations, volunteers, boosters, and grants. So I think that that's important. I think a community that promotes intergenerational harmony is a better community overall. It's going to really help caregivers, family members, neighbors who are concerned about older people. It's going to keep people healthier and more engaged, and maybe prevent people from getting sick, getting depressed, being isolated, and so that helps the community overall. We really consider ourselves the other arm of public safety, so we work hand in hand. Just engaging people more and bringing more people in will help the community overall. So to find out about the project, they can come here and we'll give them a tour. We have a board with all the plans that describe the square footage of the spaces and what the spaces are. Also on the town website, they also have our plans. There's a fact sheet on there, and there's some architectural information, so they can go to the website. If the expansion doesn't happen, we're not going to be able to serve older people in the very best way that we can. It's not going to be adequate.